Hello and welcome to Square Raindrop. I'm Jo Wheeler.
And I'm Steff Galter.
Here I am, sunglasses, autumn shirt. Yeah, what on earth is going on? It's 2 weeks until the clocks go back. Yeah, at which point we all kind of resign ourselves to the fact that winter and Christmas is just around the corner. And instead, look at the sunshine. Yeah, feel the warmth. I'm even warm in this and it's light.
It got to 24 degrees here at the weekend. 24! Madness
It's
to
insane.
be so warm at this time of year.
Well, I mean, it wasn't record breaking. I mean, it's not that unusual to have warm weather in October, but to have like a few days of it with sunshine as opposed to with storm, that is quite unusual. And when we say with storm, of course, Scotland didn't fare quite so well at the weekend.
No, the weekend was definitely memorable weather-wise for just about everyone, but for very different reasons. So in the south, it's been very, very warm. 24 degrees for us. It's been warmer elsewhere. And we're not at the beginning of October. This is later on. So it is exceptional. And then Scotland, how much rain could they possibly have? I mean, crazy amounts of wet weather. Glasgow reported in 24 hours, 124 millimetres of rain. 124 millimetres of rain. And I've seen higher totals than that. They're not confirmed, but I did see 175 written somewhere. And that amount of rain in such a short amount of time, like over a weekend, when the ground's already saturated, just has to cause major flooding.
Well, there were those pictures, weren't there, of the railway station where the water was literally up to the platforms, and cars being abandoned left, right and centre, caravans floating around. I mean, it honestly was monumental.
And on top of that, the landslides, so some of the roads are now impassable, and yes, it's not looking good. And all the water now that's up the mountains and up the hills is now flowing down the rivers towards the seas. And so some places, yes, it's improving, but elsewhere they've still got a while to go before they can finally start to pick up the pieces.
So can I sit here and sunbathe till the end of the week then? Sit outside, glorious sunshine, enjoy the heat?
Well, you could
do if
you didn't mind getting wet and a bit cold.
Never minded that. Why?
Well, the rain band that's been over Scotland is now tracking further southwards, and it's bringing the colder weather behind it. But as it works southwards, it's going to have pulses of heavy rain working across it. So sometimes it will just be cloudy, other times it will bring you some heavy rain, and it's just sinking southwards. So where are you, Jo?
Kind of middling, out towards the east coast, Lincolnshire way.
Fair to middling. Well, for you, it looks like Wednesday is going to be your wet day. And then after that, it will turn cooler. So it goes from something like 21 on Tuesday to about 14 as a maximum temperature on Thursday. So a real change. Whereas we're right down in the south. And although the rain band sort of sits over us for a little bit and the cloud sits over us, the colder air doesn't really reach us until the weekend. So it's not until Saturday that we get into the sunny weather with the 14 degrees that you had on Thursday.
Well, something, sorry, not sorry. It should be cooler than this at this time of year. And personally, I think it should be. And I'm looking forward to that proper autumn weather, for goodness sake. And of course, as well as the sunshine in the south and the rain over Scotland, it was also pretty windy up in those far northern parts, close to low pressure. But another storm somewhere said, hold my beer. Let's do some record breaking.
That's right. Over in Taiwan, we had a typhoon Koinu, I believe it's how you say it, and they had a wind gust of 213 miles an hour. 213 miles an hour. And that, if confirmed, will be the third highest recording ever recorded on an anemometer. So the third highest wind gust.
On what?
On an anemometer. So that's how we measure wind speed, sort of a little cup that goes round, like a series of cups all joined together. And that's the third highest reading ever from this one cycle.
How do you confirm it retrospectively?
I think you go and check that it's there's a big it's a big part of meteorology, confirmation of statistics, and you go to a anemometer and you blow a certain wind at it and you check that it's calibrated correctly and it doesn't go wonky towards the high wind speeds, and that it hasn't always given slightly higher winds than those surrounding it. Even in the UK, if there's been a very high temperature or whatever, there is somebody who will go and check that thermometer to check that it's working properly and it wasn't just a little bit squiffy.
I didn't know that was such a big industry. Now, the next time you're going down to the tip, yeah, which is now known as a refuse centre, isn't it? First of all, can you take the word anemometer, because it doesn't seem to be coming out right?
No, it doesn't. It's gone a bit squiffy, a little bit like some of those readings.
Do you know which particular bin that would go in?
No, it was all very traumatic. Wasp, get away. I went, yeah, see, they should have died by now or hibernated, whatever they do. Anyway.
I can help.
Why? Have you got some spray?
Anything, to be honest. I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
So I thought I'd tidy up the garden. Like this weekend, it was the weekend to sort everything out, because you knew it's going to get cold from now on, and that's it. It's going to turn darker and colder and you won't want to be outside so much. So, like many other people, I was out there mowing the lawn, but it's only this much that's dry. Underneath it's still really squelchy. So my lawnmower wasn't really very happy going through all this. Anyway, I ended up with all this stuff in the garden that's been there, half of it, since the beginning of the summer. And it's just been such rubbish weather. I've just left it there. So I thought, right, we're off to the recycle centre. We'll get rid of it all. Put it all in the car. Took it all down there. And I've got a little bit of a word of advice for you, Joe. If you're going to go and take some garden waste to the tip, don't do it after it's sat there for about 3 months, because it will have decomposed. It will be slimy, wet.
It'll be compost.
And incredibly heavy.
Yeah, that's the essence of compost. You don't leave it around, but you said you did this at the weekend. How did it have enough time to get slimy, composted and heavy in that time?
Mowing the lawn at the weekend, collecting the debris from the garden from the rest of the year, that was a different challenge. So then I got to the tip, and there's all these sprightly 80-year-olds skipping along with their garden waste, throwing it into the recycle centre, and there's me pulling these things up. Oh my goodness, I'm exhausted. Then I got back, had another load to take, and as I opened one of the bags with all this decomposing leaves, there's a little froggy looking at me. And I'm like, well, I can't take the froggy to the tip. So then, in the plastic great big builder's sack that they bring, I'm in the sack with the frog, trying to catch the frog to get it out so I can take the rest of it to the tip.
The things we do, hey? Yeah. I suspect that I've still got a mouse in my house, which I haven't worked very hard to get rid of, because it's quite sweet when I see him, to be honest.
Don't you have 400 cats?
Yes, they're lazy cats.
Don't feed them for a week, see if they can catch it.
Well, absolutely. Well, I'm really sorry about your, experiences down at the refuse centre. That's a real shame.
Strong like an ox now.
Yeah, you say strong like an ox, but turn sideways, you'd slip through one of those grid things. I mean, honestly, 6.5 stone sopping wet. Yeah, more meat on Lester Piggott's whip. So we actually have a request, don't we, for this week's Friday forecast?
Well, first of all, we've had 2 requests. We've had 2 requests this week. So we've had one request for the forecast, but it's a surprise. I can't tell anyone. You're going to have to tune in to Square Raindrop, either on YouTube or on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Friday in order to see it. So I can't say any more about that for now. But we've also had a request from somebody who wants me to ask you about Barrie Garry Barry Gang. I was really careful about that wording. So, Joe, what is this Barrie Garry Barry Gang? Is it something to talk about in polite company?
Well, yes, I can talk about it. I mean, I was on tour recently in Germany with Skegness Silver Band. It was a great tour. We were in Bad Gandersheim, which is our twin town, and we were playing various venues. And you know that saying, what goes on tour stays on tour. Well, sometimes you get a little nugget of people, don't you? So I had Barry, who plays first horn to my solo horn, and then I had Gary, who plays baritone, and then we had Barry John, who plays trombone. So I guess it was Barrie, Gary Barry, and Barry John, and possibly I was Barry Joe as the extra one. Anyway, so the playing went great. Yep, I'll drop some item for you just to show that we can actually do it. But the evenings now, I do remember some of it. But like I say, what goes on tour stays on tour.
Yes.
Just to say that the Barrie Garry Barry John band was great. We had a nice time. In fact, we all had a great time. It was an absolutely fantastic trip. But I think we were the bad ones. And you know, that happens to me a lot.
Can't think why. Any lederhosen involved since it was Germany?
No. No. I think the funniest thing is that I waited till I came back to start actually learning German.
You're still learning.
Yes.
I think you mean.
Because I've finished the Portuguese now. That's about it. So yeah, shoes, guys, shoes. And Prost. That relates to drinking, which obviously you won't know anything about. But anyway, so yes, wonderful time had in Germany by myself and the rest of Skegness Silver Band, including the Barrie Garry Barry Band. Even I can't remember how many times I've said it now. And the last time we were talking, you've been chatting to Everton, who came out to work with you in Doha. And this week, you've been chatting to another of our colleagues. Obviously, you've got a better phone book than I've got.
I'm just really annoying. I'm one of those people you can never get rid of. So yes, I spoke to the lovely Isabel, who we've both worked with for many years. Lovely, lovely lass. The only thing is, Jo, like normally with an interview, you like to keep it, relatively shortish, so you can just pop it in the middle of a broadcast. Well, I haven't spoken to Isabel for quite a while, so we ended up chatting for about an hour until we got cut off.
Okay.
So there will be the full thing on our YouTube channel, but fortunately for most people's sanity, I'll just put a little excerpt in our little square raindrop.
So there's an awful lot to look forward to this week. We've got Isabel's little interview. We've got Isabel's big interview. We've got the Friday forecast. And
Surprise!
So we'll end. Yeah, we'll end today by simply saying, enjoy the sunshine whilst it's here. And if you'd like a Friday forecast, that's basically a personalised forecast for you, because Steffi's really good at this. I don't put my hand up. Steffi's really good at this. You tell us what the event is and where it's for, and we'll put it out on a Friday. So lots to look forward to this week on both X and YouTube. And how do people contact us, Steffi?
You can do it on X. We are at Squirt Raindrop, because Square Raindrop didn't fit. Or you can email us. We are at weather@squareraindrop.com.